The Kingston Frontenacs are led into battle this season by Bruce, as in Cassidy. And Cassidy's kids are not shy on talent. Corey Emerton showed us a thing or two in the Canada-Russia Challenge, while Captain Chris Stewart is an Avalanche first-rounder. In Oshawa, Brad Selwood's Top Gun wears 91. John Tavares requires little instruction. The 16-year-old has found the net a league-high 26 times. And Regan Mclean is a man on a mission. The Generals collide with Kingston next on The Net.
The CHL on Rogers Sportsnet.
For the second time in less than a week, we make our way to the beautiful and brand new General Motors Center in downtown Oshawa, where tonight John Tavares and the Generals entertain the Kingston Frontenacs. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Peter Loubardias alongside Sam Cosentino. The Canada-Russia focus is gone. We swing our attention to league play, but we still have to focus a little bit on the gentleman that wears 91 for Oshawa, John Tavares, and what a weekend the 16-year-old has enjoyed.
5 points in an 8-2 win against Ottawa yesterday, 2 goals and 3 assists, giving him that league-leading 26 goals, Peter. There's one question to be answered, but I think we already know the answer to that one. Will he be invited to Calgary to try out with the World Junior team?
Our vote on both accounts is yes. John Tavares is not the only super 16-year-old in Oshawa's lineup. The other is a young man named Michael Del Zotto, and is he ever having a great rookie year?
Well, he's unbelievable, averaging more than a point per game, Peter, and this was just a perfect selection. The second guy taken in the OHL priority draft right after Steven Stamkos, and it really worked well because Sarnia needed a forward, Oshawa needed a defenseman, and these two guys, Tavares and Del Zotto, will be together for a long time, anchoring the front and back ends for Brad Selwood.
The Kingston Frontenacs leader is Chris Stewart. He would frankly like to forget the last time he participated in a game in this building. He speared one of the Russian players, was suspended for 3 games, but I'm wondering how he'll bounce back in his first game since here tonight.
Well, there's no question. This is probably the biggest adversity he's had to face in his career now. He's had 3 days off, and I think that could really bode well for Kingston. They're playing their third in less than 3 days. Here's a guy who's rested and has the ability, has the talent, Peter, to say, hey, boys, hop on my back and let's get it done. He hasn't done that on a consistent basis yet this year.
There's a new coach in Kingston. His name is Bruce Cassidy. He was a great player in Ottawa in the league. He spent time as the head coach in Washington. And before the contest, I had an opportunity to say, hey, Bruce, has your team found its game for real yet?
You know, we're kind of a two-headed monster. We're either playing well and we win, or we don't play well and we have a lot of turnovers and needless penalties and we lose. So we've kind of gone through both phases of the game, so we're still sort of sorting it out here.
Sam, it is meeting number 4. Kingston leads 2-1, but they captured the last meeting in a shootout back on November 24th. We are looking forward to this one, and we will, just like the kids, tape it up and be ready to go when we return.
The Ontario Hockey League on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Welcome inside the General Motors Center, 4th meeting of the year between these two East Division rivals, Oshawa and Kingston. Our starting goaltenders brought to you by ADT, always there. The Frontenacs go with the 19-year-old from Wheaton, Ontario, Aaron Rock, who was recently acquired in a trade from the Brampton Battalion. He's 2-1 in his time in Kingston. And at the other end, also newly acquired from Kitchener, is Mark Packwood, and he is a perfect 2-0 on the weekend. Both victories Friday and Saturday over Ottawa. Our referees, Ryan Carroll and Darcy Burchell. The linesmen are Jason Goldenberg and Matthew Traub. And Sam, this is the first ever meeting between these two teams in this building. they actually closed down the old Civic Center back on the 29th of October. A game won by Oshawa 8-6. And they begin with the line of John Tavares, Cal Clutterbuck, and Brett McLean. And McLean is on fire as well as Tavares. He's riding an 18-game point-scoring streak in which he's connected for 32 points.
Now that is the model of consistency.
And it's McLean who slides it in deep. Adam Nemeth, a former member of the London Knights. Bobby Hughes on the ice with Chris Stewart, back from a 3-game suspension, and Corey Emerton, the #1 trio as well for Kingston.
3 very talented individuals up front, all 3 of which can carry a team at any given point in the season, at least for a stretch of a couple of games.
All 3 of those players participated in the recently completed Canada-Russia Challenge. And in the case of Emerton, a very solid outing, scored 2 goals in a 5-0 victory in Sarnia. Chris Bellen moves into the zone, another former London Knight, with Musselman and Kyle Page to the front of the net for Oshawa. Musselman turning, he's upended by Ben Schutron, on the topic of players who played in the Canada-Russia Challenge. Ben Schutron, the Chicago 4th rounder, is able to clear it out and down the ice. Our keys to the game brought to you as always by the fine people at Yamaha. They are the manufacturers of the world's finest recreational vehicles.
Well, if you look at for Kingston, Stewart back in the lineup. This is a team that has rode a couple of different streaks, really trying to find that consistent game. And if you look at Oshawa, a chance here tonight with a win to pick up 6 points over the weekend. Back-to-back and home wins against Ottawa, capped by an 8-2 win yesterday.
Yeah, their most lopsided victory of the year here yesterday afternoon for the Generals by a count of 8-2. Huge days for the line of Tavares, Clutterbuck, and McLean. Kingston jumped out one night ago to a 2-0 lead in Peterborough, but ended up losing to the Pete 6-3. They've lost 2 straight on the weekend. This is 16-year-old Nathan Moon, a good opportunity. And Packwood tested 151 into the opening frame.
Pinched it right under the pad, Peter. If you look at what Oshawa is doing very early in this game, you see the trap there, 5 players in the neutral zone, and that has already forced 3 turnovers in this game. That one there being committed by Trevor Kaverko right into the hands of Oshawa, but they only have trouble transitioning back the other way. But Peter, that's a cause for concern very early in this game, the way that Oshawa is bottling up that neutral zone.
Brad Selwood, the general manager and head coach, and he has things turned around after a slow start here in Oshawa. And both teams have been very much up and down all season long. Kyle Bocek, the shot, directed, and an easy save that time for the former Kitchener Ranger.
Well, the Ontario Hockey League over the last couple of weeks has been a real circus for goaltenders. Packwood, of course, recently acquired from Kitchener. At the other end, Aaron Rock acquired from Brampton. Owen Sound made a big move just a day or so ago and picking up Anthony Guadagnolo. It's been a source of concern right around the league.
Kolar's the shot, the product of the Czech Republic. That gave Packwood and the Generals some difficulty as the Frontenacs was a little early pressure on, as Corey Nagy sends it just out of the reach of Dean Howard. Trevor Kaverko run into the end boards by Peter Stevens, and here comes,
wasted no time, Peter.
Here comes a little tilt. Stevens and Taylor gives up a lot of size, and I certainly hope he didn't hit his head on the ice.
Well, it looks to be okay. He's got a lot of hair to protect himself, that's for sure. He got into a tussle yesterday in a game against Ottawa, Peter, but right off the hop, Kaverko with a huge check into the boards. The penalty was called there right off the hop. And as Kaverko took that hit, Taylor walked in and said, all right, if you're going to fool around like that, you're going to have to at least answer the bell. And Stevens came in. The two had a very short tussle.
Bruce Cassidy, an interesting visit with the new head coach of Kingston, not in a very good mood after a couple of losses on the weekend at home to Windsor, and then last night, as I just alluded to, in Peterborough.
That was a game last night, Peter, in which Kingston took a 2-0 lead and then a 3-1 lead, and having squandering both of those goals and end up losing 6-3 after 5 unanswered by the Petes. Not at all in a happy mood.
Cassidy, a former coach of the Washington Capitals. And here's Taylor and Stevens.
Saw Kaverko being escorted back into the change room area for the Oshawa Generals after taking that big hit.
Wrist shot Bobby Hughes to the front of the net. And now cleared to neutral ice. Jonathan shotgun defense with Adam Nemeth. Emerton back out with Stewart and Hughes. Delzato pokes it to the wood. Hughes, a Carolina draft pick from a sharp angle. And Clutterbuck just gets out of the road of Shaka, who started the year in Windsor, was in Guelph for about a cup of coffee before he was then dealt to Kingston. Clutterbuck from a good shooting location, but it was blocked in front. Stewart in hot pursuit of the young 16-year-old Delzato. All alone in front is Emerton, and his 22nd of the year gives the Frontenacs an early lead.
Corey Emerton is such a dangerous player, Peter, and you give that guy that kind of time in front of the net with no one but between he and the goalie, and chances are he's going to score as he did in that situation. Delzato here has trouble clearing it. Stewart into the forecheck, has one quick look up, and it's 2 touch passes before it gets to Emerton, and Emerton wastes no time at all. But a good job by Stewart here in the forecheck. He's got his head up, one pass to Skinner, and right like that, off the backhanded touch pass, it goes onto the tape of Emerton to bury his 22nd.
Corey Emerton's 9th point in 4 games against Oshawa. Had a hat trick in a losing cause in the last game the teams played in Oshawa back on October 29th.
Doesn't seem to matter which building in Oshawa he's playing in.
Apparently likes it on Sportsnet too. He had a pair the last time we witnessed him in action. Good cycle this time. Bobby Bolt for Andrew Cazita, and a long clear look for Packwood.
Peter, you talk about Emerton and his propensity to score goals, especially here on Sportsnet. We take you back to the Canada-Russia series, and it's Emerton off a great pass by guess who? His line mate, Stewart. And then in front of the net, has all kinds of time, much the same way he did in scoring there, to pick up his 2nd of 2 in the Canada-Russia series.
Nice save by Packwood. Emerton's 22nd of the year entered the day tied for 4th amongst goal getters from Stewart and Hughes at .317. And the Frontenacs have had lots of jump in their 3rd game in as many days.
Good to see Trevor Kaverko back on the bench. He went in after taking that hit from behind, but he has returned to the bench. A good sign for Oshawa.
8-0 now. The early shots on goal count. Here's Dale Mitchell, a fine 17-year-old. He scores! Seemed to deflect off the defender's stick and surprise rock. And Dale Mitchell has his 17th of the year to tie it.
No question about it. And if Don Cherry's watching, he's saying, hey, get your stick out of the way. Ben Schutron going one-on-one in this situation here against Dale Mitchell. And as the puck goes back up ice, it's a simple one-on-one situation. Schutron gets turned around. Watch a shot. Boom, right off the blade of the stick. And you could see Rock was very surprised as that puck went up and over his shoulder. Here's a better look at it. The deflection right here, right off of Schutron's stick. And it created a ramp, if you will, Peter. And it happened so close, the 2 sticks together, that Rock didn't have a chance to react.
Dale Mitchell has played very well against Kingston. That's his 4th goal in 4 games against them. So the goal by Emerton answered quickly is nice work to come from the end boards towards the net by the big winger Bobby Bolt, and it will now result in the game's first power play.
Verka will go to the box. Bolt escaping from the corner. Great work off the end boards, and I think he surprised everyone by taking the short route to the net. And with that, Gaverko had to recover. His only opportunity to try and take that chance away from Bolt was to take him down. But Bolt is one of those guys who's known for his good work along the boards. He's got great size, Peter. I've seen him play a couple of times this year. I've been very impressed by him.
A little of everything in 4.5 minutes. Here's a power play for Kingston. Rated 6th in the Ontario League, entering the day at 21.7%. Emerton's pass off Delzato and then cleared by Eric Regan. Shaka, Emerton, Hughes, Stewart, and Adam Nemeth on the Kingston power play. Corey Nagy up front with Clutterbuck, who might have a breakaway, and does. What a pass from Delzato. Clutterbuck scores!
the sweep. I thought it was shootout time. And they were scraping the ice. Clutterbuck all the way from the other end in the celebration. But Delzato here has tremendous vision, Peter. We talked about it off the top of the broadcast. As this puck is turned over, Delzato has one look up. He knows Clutterbuck has a couple of steps. Flapjacks that pass on the stick, the old leg lift. Much of what you see in the shootout situation. This is almost a shootout situation because Clutterbuck is sprung between the blue line and the red line. That fool's rock, and he has about an 8 or 12-inch hole to sneak that puck through, and he does indeed do that.
Cal Clutterbuck's 12th of the year, his third shorthanded goal of the season on quite a feed from the young 16-year-old defender, Michael Delzato, his 32nd point of the season. What a future for that young man. And here's another shorthanded chance. 2-on-1 Tavares with Mclean. Tavares moves in. Rock stopped him. Bruce Cassidy won't like this power play. And the power play comes to an end.
Andrew Cazita is going to go to the box for the trip here, but Mclean and Tavares have great chemistry here, great knowledge of where each other is going. You'll see Mclean really go wide here because he knows Tavares needs a little extra time to get in over the lane. Tavares uses him as a decoy, can't sneak it past Rock, and then as this puck goes into the corner, Cazita administers the trip, and that results in the penalty.
Short-handed go-ahead goal by Cal Clutterbuck, and we'll play 4-on-4 for the next 48 seconds. And barring any more infractions, Oshawa will enjoy its first power play. And the Generals, especially at home, have been great with a man-power advantage. Second in the league at over 26%. Here's Mitchell, who scored the first Oshawa goal. Dangerous, but finds Brett Parnham, a one-time Sudbury first-rounder. Quite a beginning here in downtown Oshawa. Oshawa leading it. Clutterbuck's 12th. Mitchell his 17th after Emerton opened the scoring with his 22nd. And in 5 seconds, Oshawa will enjoy its first power play.
Watched Cal Clutterbuck yesterday, picked up a couple of points in that game, was the game's second star, working very well with Tavares, and we'll get to see their power play go to work in just a minute here, but those two guys have tremendous chemistry, Peter, and we'll keep an eye once Oshawa gets on that power play for the unsuspecting pass from Tavares to Clutterbuck. We saw it a couple of times while the two worked together with the extra man.
Oshawa was 3 for 10 on the power play yesterday in their 8-2 romp over Brian Kilrea's crew. John Tavares riding a 9-game point scoring streak, 23 points during it. My goodness.
Some nifty stick work.
My goodness. Madden. Mclean through the seam, attempted it. Nice stick work that time by Emerton defensively.
It's pretty easy to see why, if you watch this guy on an everyday basis, why he's leading the league with 26 goals. Peter has great vision, really tremendous stick handling ability, and I think the thing I like most about him at the age of 16 is his ability to finish.
45 1 year ago as a 15-year-old. As you would say, that's just maybe not right.
That's not right.
True. And he'll surpass that total, barring injury this year. And there he is, sniffing around the net again. This good save by Aaron Rock. 20 seconds to go on the power play. Clutterbuck, what a pass. Mclean, Tavares. Couldn't quite control it the way he wanted to.
There's some quick puck movement. And Peter, you talked about chemistry, and these guys getting the chance to play on a power play on a regular basis. You can see why their power play is ranked amongst the top 5 in the league.
And here's one of the reasons. Delzato, Tavares snaps it on target. The save by Aaron Rock.
Well, Rock has been faced with 8 shots. None of them have been very easy for him to handle. Here, Clutterbuck just spins. Look at the pad save there. Good job by Rock to stick that right pad out and kick that rebound out of harm's way.
There are the 19-year-old's numbers since being acquired from Stan Butler's team, the Brampton Battalion. Played last year in the USHL with the Tri-City Storm. Shutron working over Igor Gangalski, and Shutron is going to the penalty box. Parnham, nice pass. Seacrest could not control it.
Well, there's nobody who knows his team like your coach, Peter. And when we talked to Bruce Cassidy before the game, he said, hey, we're taking a lot of penalties we shouldn't be taking. And here it's Shutron, already a man down, taking another penalty. And it's just not a good situation to be in when you're down 2-1, you're on the road, 3 games in less than 2 nights. He goes to the box for the hold to really compound matters here. And if you look at all the talent that is displayed on this Oshawa side in the power play, boy, it's pretty tough to give up a 5-on-3. And you can see him pinching Gangalski to the boards for the holding call.
Delzato backpedaling. Nice first pass. Parnham, Mitchell. Nice recovery by Nemeth, the veteran blue line.
Great play by Bull. Down the ice in a hurry.
You know, during the Canada-Russia Challenge, in the last 2 games we talked, or at least the last game, about Cody Franson and his great first pass, a member of the Vancouver Giants. Delzato, that's an area where he really excels.
And at 16 years old, to be able to do it at this level is, especially on defense, that's a tough task, but he has answered the bell.
I'm pretty sure somewhere down the road, Michael Delzato is going to wear a maple leaf. No doubt in my mind. And he is part of a tremendous crop of 16-year-old defensemen this year in this Ontario Hockey League. Fabulous. And here he comes, Michael Delzato. Tavares, hooked down, and there'll be another Kingston penalty. Delzato hangs onto it smartly. Clutterbuck wants Tavares, bangs away at it, stopped by Rock.
So dangerous is John Tavares. He really can sniff a goal, and he cuts to the net here like a man on fire. It doesn't take long for Delzato with his head up the whole time to get that pass over to him, and as he was cutting into the crease, upended. And so another penalty here for the Kingston Frontenacs, and it's so tough again, Peter, when you're on the road to continue to play a man down. It'll be Shaka who goes to the box for Kingston on this occasion.
Bruce Cassidy's club facing a 2-man disadvantage for the next 48 seconds. Scott Madden, the younger brother of New Jersey Devils John Madden, wired one. Nearly found the net, and that's something he hasn't done in quite some time. You have to go back to the final day of the regular season, March 19th, for Scott Madden's last goal. Inches away that time. Clutterbuck and Madden. James Delory. Clutterbuck. Tavares. Mclean. Now Delory again, the big 6'5" blue line for Clutterbuck. Off of Hughes.
Good tip there by Madden to keep it alive.
Here's Madden, wrist shot. Good, clear look for Rock.
Madden getting set up for a couple of opportunities, and you can tell that the scouting report is to go high on Aaron Rock. Look at Madden here on the power play. All kinds of guys in front of the net. Wires it right off the shoulder of Aaron Rock, with Mclean standing right in front of the net.
Frontenacs just 1 man short. Delzato remains up. That time the pass stopped by Bobby Hughes. Hughes leaves for Emerton. He can really rip it, and did right there. Looking for his second of the contest. Eric Regan. His pass just fails to connect with Clutterbuck.
Peter, we talked about the goaltending circus in the Ontario Hockey League right now. Aaron Rock has definitely been a part of that, but interesting story. Drafted by Saginaw originally. The team won 18 games in the year in which he was drafted. Wasn't getting a chance to play much. Went to Brampton. The battalion really struggled out of the gate. Brian Pitton was getting most of the minutes there. Spent a little time in the USHL, but it's quite possible now that with Daryl Borden out with that knee injury, that he's going to get a chance to see some games in Kingston and really get a chance to prove himself.
Delzato shoots it in. Gangalski with Mitchell, and Parnham now up front. And Delzato will have to hustle. Stewart knocks him down, feeds in front for Bocek. A couple of chances for the rookie, and Peckwood comes up large.
Another good shift by Stewart. I think he's answered the bell so far in this game.
Bocek was looking for his first Ontario Hockey League goal. Gangalski started the year in Owen Sound with the attack. Kaverko, he played there too. Not at the start of the year, obtained in the offseason. And Kingston able to kill off the two-man disadvantage. Shutron for big 16-year-old Josh Britton, who goes at 6'4", over 200 already. He's a man-child.
That's a whole lot of man-child.
Kingston does well, shorthanded. Emerton has their lone goal. Mitchell has one for the Gens, as does Cal Clutterbuck.
Brad Selwood and the Oshawa Generals have two tremendous 16-year-olds with which they can build their team around over the next couple of years. Michael Delzato, the defenseman, John Tavares up front. And Peter, there's been a lot of talk that with this new building, Oshawa, about a 40-minute drive outside of Toronto, that in 2008, this may be one of the towns that will bid for the Memorial Cup. I don't think there's any question they're going to bid for it. I mean, that remains to be decided.
Kingston will have a brand new rink by then as well. And they might be in the hunt with a lot of good young players with the potential of returning. Here's one of them, Nathan Moon. He's just 16 years of age. Has 22 points already this season and nearly a 23rd as Moon stopped and causes the Generals to take a penalty.
That's one thing when you look down at the stat sheet and you see Nathan Moon and the success he's had this year. Well, he gets involved in that high traffic area in front of the net, cuts towards the front of the net, and towards the end of the play going for the rebound, taken down by Kaverko, who will go to the box, Peter. And that's, again, one of those things where you're taking time and space away with someone who doesn't have the puck but is fighting to get there, and that's why Kaverko goes to the box.
If you're a 16-year-old rookie, it's a pretty nice way to start your OHL career with 2 goals on opening night. That is what Nathan Moon achieved back on the 22nd of September. Kingston on the power play. Matthew Kang and Peter Skinner. Skinner, nice wrist shot from the 20-year-old who hails from Newfoundland. Just missed with Bolt, Cazita, and Ben Shutron. Shutron a drive. That hit Madden in front. Nobody wanted to clear, and now Clutterbuck will with Tavares. Do these guys play enough, do you think?
Yeah, they see a lot of movement. So too does Delzato is out there now.
Do they ever come off? I watched yesterday's game on television. I think they played about 45 minutes, those guys.
Yeah, they saw a lot of time. And you know what? I talked to Brad Selwood before the game, and he said when Delzato, when they were talking to him in the hopes of drafting him, they said, get ready to wear a lot of different pair of skates because you will play a lot.
Skinner, it was Delzato who got his stick in the position to make sure the puck didn't make its way on net. Adam Nemeth, Stewart, Hughes, and Emerton back out, the power play unit, and #1 trio of this Kingston team offensively.
I'll tell you what, Oshawa's taking some chances shorthanded. I mean, you've already seen a shorthanded goal, but they have no problem floating that forward up in the neutral zone.
Stewart bursting in on the wing. Big rebound left there. Nobody in the neighborhood to bang it into the open cage. Here's Emerton working off the boards with Bobby Hughes. For Nemeth, wrist shot, Packwood, nice kick save. Found it through a maze. Hughes and Jonathan Shaka. Emerton. Shaka blocked by Musselman. Another chance. Snapped it wide of the target as Kaverko's penalty has expired. Here's Hughes. That hit a skate. Emerton, the Detroit second-round draft pick. Stewart lets it go through for Hughes. Nemeth, wrist shot. Hit Musselman, who comes away with from nearby Whitby. Cody Musselman, a one-time first-round selection of the Sarnia Sting. Sechrist waits and flips in. So no power play goals for either side, and both have had some chances.
I find it hard to believe it, especially with the talent that each of these teams can throw out there in this power play.
It won't last all night, trust me. Bobby Nyholm, a product of Finland, on the ice. Josh Britton Checked up by Regan, and Dale Mitchell, who has one of the 2 Oshawa goals, flips it out. Michael Kolovs. Kevin Moore slides it for Moon with Josh Britton. Delory had him in his sights. Moon carries on. Peckwood took a peek, but got enough of it. Parnham. To the line, not out. Kicks at it. Underneath him, but somehow it stays in. And it's a penalty that we will straighten out when we return.
To perform.
Big scramble at the blue line of Oshawa, and Bobby Nyholm ends up getting the gate for the kneeing. And you see this puck, Oshawa trying desperately to get it up. We see that left leg just stuck out on Parnham there, and that's what forces the penalty. And when you talk about the 2-referee system, in a 1-referee system, you might not get that, but that second guy hanging back had a clear look at it.
Oshawa, power play number 4 of the period. Look out for the bouncer. Those are always tough, but Packwood did quite well with the short hop, which you can appreciate, Mr. Baseball. Tavares intercepted. Both of you guys. I'm surrounded by baseball guys, and I got no problem with that. I quite enjoy the sport myself. Cazita flips it to the open wing. Delory and Delzato to anchor with Tavares, Clutterbuck, and Mclean up front in this Oshawa power play. Would you expect it to begin any other way? Chutron rings it, not out. Delory, then Tavares. Mclean, Tavares awaits in the slot. Clutterbuck parked now in the high slot area. Shot does make its way through by Delory.
Peter, you talk about Mclean and what a run he's on right now, points in 18 straight games. And last year, Erie was looking to make a big push towards the playoffs, and they figured, well, this guy's a young guy, we want to keep him, but in order to get a little older and more experienced, we're going to have to deal for a couple of guys. So Brad Selwood, Sherry Basson hooked up in a monster deal that sent Adam Birdie and Brett Nasby the other way, coming back this way. Mclean in that package, and he's been dynamite.
Madden, another good shot from the line. Mitchell now with Gangalski and Parnham. Second power play unit. Mitchell, good shot. And Rock in good position.
A lot of shots on goal in this game. I mean, it's turned into a circus. 17-17 the shots on goal, Peter. And if you look at the previous 3 meetings between these 2 clubs, 235 shots between the 2 clubs. I mean, that's almost 40 a game in the 3 games previous to this, so this shouldn't be of surprise to anyone.
When you're tired, it gets more difficult to defend. Both teams playing 3-3.
Another reason why we've seen a lot of penalties, because you tend to be fatigued, and as opposed to skating and catching the man, you use your stick and you reach.
Indeed. Parnham keeps it alive. 20 seconds to go on this power play. Madden. Nice feed down low. Mitchell Gangalski scores! Great puck movement.
Well, Peter, the key to Oshawa's power play has been that man down low, parked net side along the icing line, and they continuously try to open up seams. You'll see 3 Kingston defenders move to that side, and once that happens, that opens up that seam down low. Now Madden, good pass, Mitchell, Gangalski in front of the net, who was popping in and out of that slot. Gangalski did a nice job, strong on the stick here, and a quick release, and those 2 things enabled them to pick up the goal. But it all started with that great pass down low, forcing Mitchell to make the decision on what he wanted to do. He made the right decision in going to Gangalski.
Born in Kiev in the Ukraine, Igor Gangalski, growing up in Toronto, has his 6th goal as a member of the Oshawa Generals, obtained in a trade this season from Owen Sound. And has fit in quite nicely. Kevin Moore in the skates of Stewart, who does well, before he ran into Kaverko. Delory, neat little poke pass, Clutterbuck with Mclean, and Moore broke that up. And Mclean was jumping into home free territory down the wing that time. Clutterbuck, he can shoot it and rips it. And Rock facing shot number 19 of the period. We will chat with the third-round selection of the Minnesota Wild, Cal Clutterbuck, coming up in our first period intermission. We'll check in with some highlights, and there have been plenty of those. Head back to the Sportsnet News studios for an update. Lots of action in the opening 20 minutes, and still 2:15 left in it. Fourth meeting of the year between these two OHL Eastern Division rivals. Andrew Cazita, born in Uganda. You don't see that every day. As a matter of fact, his brother spent some time in Victoriaville. The first Ugandan in the Ontario Hockey League is Andrew Cazita.
He picked a good time to come back, was hurt in camp, and as his coming back coincided with a 10-game point streak in which the Frontenacs have picked up points. But you talk about that fatigue and reaching and doing things you shouldn't be doing that you normally wouldn't do in this situation, playing 3 games in 3 days, and it catches up there to Austin Verge.
Bruce Cassidy takes a peek. The Generals did click with their last man power advantage. Yet another here late in the frame, looking to take a 3-goal advantage as they attempt to put the finishing touches on what would be their best weekend of the year. Back-to-back wins versus Ottawa Friday and Saturday. And here's Clutterbuck with Mclean and Tavares. Tavares nearly was by himself in front. Nathan Moon intercepts and clears. I like the way that young Nathan Moon plays. He's a pretty good first period. He's just 16. Cazito back with Tavares bearing down on him. Tavares with some help from Mclean and Clutterbuck. Good work by Cazito. Mclean to the line and Regan. Regan wrist shot. Guess who's in front? Tavares. That's how you score 26.
Well, that's it. It's that goal for the net. As soon as that puck left the corner, he went straight to the front of the net. Lo and behold, the puck made it to him.
See the little play he made there just to chip it to himself and keep it alive off the boards? Regan fails to hold it in. Here's Clutterbuck. Enters the zone. Tavares. Tavares. Great strength as he cut in on the inside and got a good shot away. One last rush on the power play. Here's Tavares. Another penalty coming up to Kingston. Clutterbuck wrist shot. Stopped.
Well, we're going to see a slash here, Peter, for the Kingston Frontenacs. Jonathan Shaka will go to the box, and with Bruce Cassidy couldn't say it enough and stress it enough off the top, and when we met with him before the game, but this happens behind the play, and you can see Clutterbuck, who was an irritant on his best night. He and Shaka getting involved, and Shaka administers the slash, and another Kingston penalty.
One last face-off, won cleanly by Stewart. And the buzzer goes to bring an end to a first period. 40 shots on net between the two, and 4 goals. A little bit of everything, wouldn't you say?
Hey everybody, hope you're enjoying the game. RJ Broadhead back here in the Sportsnet studio. The Maple Leafs are off until they host Atlanta on Tuesday. We'll see if they learned anything from that 5-0 loss courtesy of the Thrashers last week, or if they learned anything from any of their last 4 games, all losses. In fact, the Leafs haven't won since Matt Sundin returned from his elbow injury, and you can put that in the category of things that don't really make sense. Leafs skills competition at the ACC. Hardest shot, Nick Antropov sets the bar with just over 98 miles per hour. Chad Kilger, his first shot, a good one. 102.4 miles per hour. Didn't need to go again, but it's a good thing he did because his second shot was a beaut. 106.6 miles per hour.
That breaks Ally Afraidy's record. A new NHL record.
So Chad Kilger letting it fly, and he wasn't done with the hardest shot. Next came the fastest skater. Kilger surpassed Brendan Bell. Matt Stajan with a terrific time. So Chad Kilger, get this guy on the top line. He's got the hard shot. He's got the speed. Shooting accuracy. Pavel Kabina, first to go. Nobody could do better. Hit all 4 targets using only 4 shots. I don't think you can beat that. Have to be a pretty nifty to do it on 3 shots. Final event, the shootout in the first round. Bell, Kilger, Ponikarovsky, Pekka, Antropov, Bates Pataglia, Alex Steen, all advanced. Second round, Pekka and Steen scored. Ponikarovsky scored. Third round, Pekka stopped by Oban. I think he might have had a little help from the post. Ponikarovsky scores, so Steen needs to score to force the 4th round. He stopped. Ponikarovsky wins the shootout with 3 straight goals. Oilers have lost 3 straight, and here's more bad news. Ryan Smith was placed on the injured reserve with a broken thumb. He isn't expected to need surgery, but he's out indefinitely. He leads the team with 16 goals. The club recalled winger Alexei Mikhnov in his place.
He's given up big rebounds and soft goals all season
long.
We were
going in there pretty
Ryan
good,
Smith.
but like I said, it was a freak thing, and very unfortunate. I mean, lucky that it hadn't displaced, because it could be a lot longer, and so I'm lucky. Not right now. It's out indefinite, that's all.
It's disappointing from a certain aspect, but it shouldn't affect your game individually with somebody else out. And in a lot of ways it gives you more opportunity as a player, and it creates opportunity for guys to prove they belong and can play at this level.
Alexander Ovechkin was ejected from Saturday night's win over the Sabres for a questionable hit on Daniel Breyer, but that might be the only punishment he gets. Reports indicate there will be no hearing and Ovechkin will not face a suspension. The Capital forward hit Breyer from behind after he made a pass. Breyer was hurt on the play, but he did return to finish the game. What a day on the ski hills for the Canadians. Michael Janik finishes second for his first career podium finish in a World Cup event. Thomas Grandy of Canmore, Alberta finishes tied for 5th. And last week, a couple of Canadians were on the podium as well. As far as the men were concerned, look at Kelly Vanderbeek. She gets the women going. Her first podium finish. Also the first time a Canadian woman has reached the podium at Lake Louise. And Michael Janik's sister, Britt, placed 11th. Genevieve Simard, 5th. So she had a good result as well. Sportsnet News coming up tonight with Mike Toth and Sean McCormick. NHL highlights, busy day in the NFL, of course, and we will have more on the Canadian skiers who just had another terrific weekend and continue to climb that podium. We'll get you back to the game shortly.
The Ontario Hockey League on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by Buckley's. It tastes awful, and it works. And by Rogers Wireless, the latest MP3 and camera phones only from Rogers.
This should be a gem. Guelph hosts Owen Sound. That's our next Ontario Hockey League action here on Rogers Sportsnet. It's been quite a weekend for the Oshawa Generals and our guest, Cal Clutterbuck. A 4-point effort yesterday, already has another goal in the game tonight. Cal, why have things gone so well for you and your team this weekend?
Oh, I think we're sticking to basics. It's easy to start pointing fingers when you're losing. We just stuck together here and went on a little bit of a tear this weekend because we're moving the puck and we're doing the things you need to do as a team to win the game, and you see the results.
You and Tavares and Regan have really good chemistry, not only playing on a line together, but seeing a lot of time in the power play. Why does that click so well between the three of you?
Oh, I mean, obviously John's John, and he shoots the puck, and he scores about, I don't know what his shooting percentage is, but it seems like it's about 75. But, I think lately we've been moving the puck a lot better, and that was the knock on us last year. We didn't move the puck enough in between me and John, and now Mac's a great playmaker too. So, the three of us on the line, I mean, we're top 40 in scoring, all three of us, and the reason is we're sharing the puck.
Cal, goal number 12 for you, and talking about people who can shoot the puck, you don't have any trouble getting it to the net. The Canada-Russia game the other night, I'm pretty sure if I take a look at one of the nets, there's still a dent in it.
Yeah, well, I would have rather put a hole through the mesh than a dent in the crossbar, that's for sure. But yeah, I know it's the shot's a big part of my game, and I got to start shooting the puck more, actually.
Cal, thanks so much for this, and best of luck the rest of tonight and the rest of the way.
Okay, thank you.
Cal Clutterbuck, a draft pick of the Minnesota Wild, making an impact. Quite a move as the Generals in front by a pair after 20. The play of the first period is brought to you by Easton Sports. The world's best players choose Easton.
Well, we selected Cal Clutterbuck shorthanded goal after the Kingston turnover. It's Delzato making a perfect pass to Spring Clutterbuck, who has no problem finishing. And I think at the lower angle, you have a better appreciation for the pass made here by Delzato. Over one stick, lands flat for Clutterbuck, who gets it under control and buries it. One of 3 Oshawa goals in the first in a 3-1 lead.
They affectionately call already the GMC. And what a beautiful building it is here in downtown Oshawa. Lots of action in period number 1. 4 goals, 3 by the home team.
Well, the Kingston Frontenacs came in on a 3-game losing streak, but get on the board first. Chris Stewart doing a good job in the forecheck. It ends up on Emerton's stick, who wastes no time getting it off his stick. From there, the Oshawa Generals would respond here. Good shot on goal from Mitchell there, off a Shoutron stick and a passed rock, and the shorthanded goal we saw from Clutterbuck to make it 2-1 Oshawa at this point. While Igor Gangalski is set up beautifully on the power play to cap the scoring in this period. He pops into that low slot, and in it goes past rock for a 3-1 Oshawa lead.
Bruce Cassidy obviously concerned with how the first 20 minutes went. 3-1 is indeed the count. Look at the shots. 40 in the opening frame.
Well, if you like offense, you're seeing a little scoring and a whole lot of opportunities.
Dale Mitchell had 5 points coming in 3 games against Kingston with a goal and an assist. And he's just a 17-year-old in his second full season in the Ontario Hockey League. Mark Packwood, pretty solid period with 17 saves, and Aaron Rock stopped 19 of 22. See how Kingston responds. Both teams playing their 3rd game in as many days. Oshawa with a little more rest entering this one because they played a day game yesterday in comparison to Kingston in a night tilt in Peterborough. A 2-man advantage about to expire as Verge out of the penalty box, but lots of time remaining in the penalty to Jonathan Shaka. Tavares out with Mclean and Clutterbuck. Tavares holding off Shoutron. Delzato cranks it on target. Cazita, nice body position in front.
Good move by Hughes to clear the zone. He saw a lane, he's taking it.
Hughes shorthanded. Good opportunity. Shot it wide out there with Emerton. Hughes again cranks it. Packwood took a peek, still isn't sure. Has it in. A tad on the nonchalant side with Emerton buzzing around in front as here comes Clutterbuck. Great shorthanded goal in the opening frame. Hooked. And another penalty.
Yeah, Michael Kolars will get the hook. What Clutterbuck does here to draw the penalties, he really keeps the puck out in front of him, so you can't get a body on him. With the puck that far out in front of him, the only way to defend is to use the stick, and when Kolars does that, he tugs on Clutterbuck just enough to take him off the stride, resulting in the penalty.
That's tough to come back when you're down 1 and 2 men all the time.
That's been the case the majority of this game for the Fronts.
Oshawa doesn't want to let too many more 2-man advantages slip by without connecting either. That may come back to haunt them because Kingston has lots of firepower. Stewart on the ice with Shoutron and Nemeth in this 5-on-3 situation.
Nice read by Shoutron there.
Delory, Gangalski scored a power play goal in the first. Feeds for Mitchell. Madden and Delory. Brett Parnham slides it. Rock keeps the pad down on the short side. Parnham backhander had a little room. So did Gangalski, but give Rock credit is another two-man advantage killed off by the Frontenacs. And let's see if that gives them some life. Well, not quite yet. Still 58 seconds left in it. I saw Shockett jump in, and I thought he was jumping out of the penalty box. Had to take another peek. I thought it had gone by fairly quickly.
Forgot about the other penalty.
Just wasn't quite sure where he came from. Gangalski turning away from Mole. Tavares in the slot, stopped by Aaron Rock.
Tavares didn't get all he wanted to on that shot.
Tavares on the wraparound, looking for his 27th of the year, but can't beat Aaron Rock.
It's amazing at his size and 16 years old how strong he is. He's really developed physically over the last year, and that has been a very good trait to have if you're John Tavares. Gangalski working in the corner, spots Tavares there. He goes down as that puck gets caught behind him a little bit, and then he gets a second opportunity just seconds later as he cuts towards the front of the net. He's so good at that with his long reach, Peter, that he oftentimes tricks goalies by thinking he's going to go out the other side of the net, and he'll stop and reverse and come back out on the short side.
Delzato. 120 points for the OHL Cup champion Markham Minor AAA Midgets last year in 73 games.
That's something else when you think about a defenseman being.
Shutron avoids the check-in, nearly springs Hughes on a breakaway, and now the Kolar's penalty has indeed expired.
Well, if you're looking for the silver lining in your Bruce Cassidy, hey, we've done a fairly good job at killing off some 5-on-3s.
Tavares, you know what he did? There is number 27 for the 16-year-old sensation from Oakville.
Oh, man, that's got to be a terrifying sight if you're a goaltender to see an odd man rush and this guy having the puck. He is so good at getting it past goaltenders. It's a knack that few have in this league, and this rush starts with 4 Oshawa Generals, and it's the trailer is usually the killer. And you see, Peter, what causes this goal is that huge gap left, and that's why the trailer is the most dangerous person, because oftentimes he has the largest gap. You see how big that gap is? That gives him all kinds of time to load up, pick his spot. And for a guy like Tavares, he often will not miss his spot.
John Tavares, 27th of the year, extends his point streak to 10 games, and we have a net-minding change.
Jason Guy, another goaltender acquired by Kingston from the Guelph Storm. I'll get a chance to see a little time in the pipes. 27 shots on goal already for Oshawa.
Guy is 6-5-2 with his new team and a .383 goals against average. And a big hill to climb now for the Frontenacs. Matthew Kang and Peter Skinner, with Bobby Bolt up front for Kingston. And here's the other problem for Bruce Cassidy when you take a lot of penalties. You don't have a chance to roll through your lines.
Your special teams guys need to play a ton. One of the guys who's going to see a few more minutes now for Oshawa because he's so good defensively is Chris Bellen. Is one of those guys acquired by Brad Sullivan back in October 25th. He and Igor Gangalski were acquired on the same day from different teams. And they really felt, the coaching staff did, that these two guys added some grit, some reliability, and they've been able to chew up some minutes when the big line isn't playing.
Kaverko, draft pick of the New York Rangers, 5th round in 2005. Tyler Taylor bursts in, puts on the brakes, finds Delory. His shot hits Dean Howard. Another 16-year-old with some promise on this Oshawa team. Certainly not the type of 16-year-old as the other two we've been mentioning all night, but I've seen him play 4 or 5 times this year and have been impressed.
This is what they call the bump-up shift. After you get a goal, you throw your energy line out there. Guys, Howard, Taylor, and Nagy, who don't play a whole lot, and they're expected to give their club a lot of energy, get in the corners, bang some people around, and try and build on that momentum, while at the same time giving your big guns the rest so that when they're rested, they can get back out there and maybe add to that. And you see Clutterbuck out there immediately after that bang-up line.
The last goal, Tavares is 27th from Clutterbuck and Delzato at .319. Even strength. And look who's back out again, and here they come again. Clutterbuck with McLean. Clutterbuck, he'll shoot it. Jason Guy enters the goal and makes a good save. Stewart checked up by Seacrest and Eric Regan. Nemeth, long lead pass Stewart with Hughes, a bit of a lane. Seacrest recovers, still loose. Great save, rebound. Fine stop by Packwood off Hughes.
And the second one was by Regan, and he paid the price for that. You can see him limping right now.
Emerton, Seacrest with a run at Corey Emerton, who has the lone goal for the Frontenacs. He actually opened the scoring in the first, and then, of course, it was carried in on the offside.
Well, control of this puck is lost, and it gets tied up in a couple of feet, but it ends up back on Hughes' stick, but somehow Packwood's able to react. Then Stewart has a chance, and Regan goes to the ice there. That's what you want your captain doing, sacrificing his body. Watch Regan on this second attempt. First one there, Stewart, Regan. Right down, sacrifices his body for the block shot.
Boy, that was a good save by Packwood, the 18-year-old, who was the starting goaltender for Team Ontario at the 2005 Under-17 challenge. So he entered the league in Kitchener with a lot of promise. It just didn't quite work out for him with the Rangers. Maybe the new lease on life will make a huge difference.
It's been a tough go. He had to play behind Dan Turple, who was one of the best goaltenders in this league last year, and then John Murray from the States is up this year and took away a lot of his starts.
Boy, he's had quite a time of it recently, as have the Rangers in general.
A couple of road shutouts for the weekend, not bad.
Well, that's pretty impressive, to say the least, as Peter DeBoer and Steve Spock's team really has it going in Kitchener.
Well, no surprise there. It always takes those guys a little time to get it figured out. But one thing is for sure, they usually get it figured out.
Pretty quality staff in that town, and there are many in this league, and those guys are right up there among the best in the country, not just in this league. Hughes darts in, good move, puts on the brakes. Wants Emerton in front, and Kaverko got a stick on it. And here's Brett Parnham, just 17 years of age. As Parnham fails to dance around Kolars. Mitchell with a goal and a helper in the contest. Dale Mitchell, Parnham with Gangalski up front. Madden lets it go. Big rebound.
Madden's been very effective back there, Peter. About 5 or 6 of his shots have been able to find the net.
He's played well. Nice move by Parnham, and that just stays out. Jason Guy now in goal, and the siege really hasn't stopped. John Tavares with number 27 of the year. Hey, where are you going to be Wednesday night? Rico for the American Hockey League on Sportsnet. Sam and I will have the call along with our fine friend, Mr. Broadhead. The Marlies and the Bulldogs continue their rivalry. Looking forward to that on Wednesday. Nathan Moon slides it in on the ice for Kingston with Bobby Nyholm and Josh Britton. Gangalski has a goal in the contest, blockered away by Jason Guy, who replaced Aaron Rock after the John Tavares goal. The lone tally so far in period number 2. Delory, his pass hits Moon. And Mole comes away from the scrum. Nyholm slides it out of the reach of Nathan Moon. And Kolars will go back to collect the puck. He was one of the last cuts of the Czech Republic's national junior team last year, hoping to earn a berth this time around and play in Sweden. Excited about that Canadian invite list coming out tomorrow?
We get to match up our list that you and I put together for the Canada-Russia series and see how it matches up to what the big boys feel.
After the long flight the other day, I made about 2 or 3 changes already to my own.
Yeah, it happens. You don't think those guys have made a few changes?
I think they've made a few changes, and they get to see them all the time. What a chore for Jim Hammett and company.
Talk about thorough, though. I like the way they brought Corey Hirsch along to really just focus on the goaltenders and allow Hammett to focus on everyone else.
Peter Skinner, a shot block, rebound, scores! Matthew King on the back end, giving Kingston some much-needed life.
Well, Peter, there's good chemistry here between Matthew Kang and Peter Skinner as they played together with the St. Mike's Buzzers in the Tier 2 program, and here that chemistry comes to fruition. Shot blocked in front. Kang follows it up. Backhand, and that puck is bouncing around before it's finally able to be picked up. Bellen has a chance to get it, but it bounces off of his glove, and Kang is there to bury the loose puck.
Matthew Kang enjoying a nice season. He was acquired from Owen Sound. Mclean attempts to bust by Shutron. Tavares again. He scores. Second of the night. 28th of the year.
One of the things, Peter, that makes a goal scorer so good is the ability to know where to go and go in areas where you can receive a pass. Now, Tavares isn't in that famous area in the slot. He just goes off center a little bit here, and as this puck goes up ice, you'll see him go into that area where only he can get the pass. See how he stops right there, Peter? That everyone passes him by, and now he's in a spot where that pass can come back to him. He knows he can shoot the puck. All he has to do is get it, and once he gets it, forget about it. He's a smart player. He's 16 years old. He plays well beyond his years.
Book your ticket for Calgary, son. You're on your way to try out for Canada's national junior team.
There may be more tickets to be booked before it's all said and done.
Yes, overseas. Ben Shutron and Corey Emerton. Will he require a plane ticket for Calgary? Will Chris Stewart? That might help. Goals coming fast and furious for Stewart. That's number 14, and it's a 2-goal difference again.
Well, Peter, you talked about the firepower with Kingston. You can't give these guys a chance to get up off the mat. Stewart's got a good shot. He's got good speed. He gains a half a step. Hackwood goes down, and Stewart finds that tiny little hole on the short side, glove side. I'm not so sure. Maybe that might not have been deflected on the way in, but give Stewart a lot of credit for just looking in an area where if you can put it.
First round selection of the Colorado Avalanche, 18th overall, Chris Stewart.
You never know in this game. It could be the last team that scores, and you could see 100 shots on goal by the time it's all over.
Well, we're at 53 already, and we haven't played 10 minutes of the second period. And I don't get the feeling that the defensive blanket is coming anytime soon in this baby. That's fun.
Well, people called for offense a couple of years ago. They got it in this one.
You bet they do. So Tavares with 2 in the period. Stewart has just scored. Now Bobby Bolt a chance, and blockered out of play by Packwood.
Guys coming down the wing. Packwood's a smaller goaltender, Peter, so when he goes down, he can leave that top shelf open. And you see guys really taking shots now on the off wing. You saw Stewart come down and bury it from the right side, and you see Bolt coming down the left side this time, and he too trying to fire it high on Packwood, who goes down awfully early. But that is an area of concern with the smaller goaltender.
3 goals in 46 seconds, 2 by Kingston. The other, John Tavares' second of the period and 28th of the year. That leads the Ontario Hockey League.
It's been a long, strange trip for the Kingston Frontenacs this season. There's no doubt about it. Significant win streak, significant losing streak, and that's the thing. At this age, you're trying to find guys with that touch. Look what John Tavares has done, comparing the numbers between last year and this year. And I thought it'd be tough to improve on that year, but as you get older, you get better.
His only problem is he might be away for a month. That cuts down on your numbers. Mclean, Clutterbuck, missed the target. Tavares right back out there. And let's not forget, he enjoyed his best day ever in the Ontario Hockey League point-wise yesterday with 2 goals and 3 assists in the 8-2 win versus Ottawa. He has 10 points on the weekend. Emerton. Hughes with Stewart, who has his 14th of the year just moments ago. Clutterbuck. Tavares awaiting. There's Nemeth will scoop it to the line, not out. Jason Guy, the easy save off the shot from Kaverko. who hasn't scored in 85 games. Been a while for him, but he's a steady Eddie, as you like to call him, stay-at-home defenseman.
Yeah, you need those guys. No doubt about it.
Bobby Hughes upended and knocks the net off its mooring, and now a little rough and tumble in the corner. Fast and furious. I don't know about you, but after all this goal scoring, I need a break.
Well, the Kingston Frontenacs have experienced the highs and lows over the last 8 games. The first 5-0, power play going good, scoring goals. The last 3 not so good. All 3 this week, starting with a loss on Tuesday, 2 more Friday, Saturday, trying to avoid the 4-game sweep here for the week.
The good news for Bruce Cassidy's crew is they're still in this game. And for a while, it didn't look like they would be when John Tavares made it 4-1 earlier in this period.
Well, Bruce Cassidy has so much firepower there, and when you look at playing 4 games and losing all 4 of those games in the course of a week, it can be devastating, especially where Kingston finds itself in the playoff picture right now.
Yeah, they just can't seem to quite find an identity and get on a real roll, although I guess for 10 games they did. As Regan upended, slow to get up, backhander from big Josh Britton, didn't miss by much. Out there with Nyholm and Moon, Shutron, that hit Gangalski, who's played a significant role offensively in the game. Moon upended, that will result in an Oshawa penalty and a Kingston power play change.
Well, that's not what you want if you're Brad Selwood. I mean, Billy Sechrist, who's come out and played aggressively, takes the penalty here when you can't get the play. And we'll see how he reacts there, the captain, but it's Sechrist who goes to the box to put Kingston on the man advantage.
Shutron takes a wallet from Clutterbuck. Voted last year as one of the best body checkers in the Eastern Conference in the coaches poll.
Well, he is not well liked anywhere he goes, but he feeds off that. They love him here in Oshawa.
You like him if he's on your side. Already has a shorthanded tally. Might it be 2? And who did he get a lot on that?
There's no doubt about his ability to shoot the puck.
None. This guy can shoot it too. Emerton, who has his 22nd of the year. He's amongst the league leaders in goals.
Missed pass there, and Emerton looking for Hughes. Can't find him, but Corey Emerton is one of those players that you talk about. It does a lot of things well, and I think the one thing that when I put him on my list for the selection camp, I thought that he's an exceptionally good penalty killer, and I thought that might push him over the hump to at least get him to Calgary. It's going to be tough decisions.
He's one of the young men in our country that's going to have a tough night getting to sleep tonight. Right on the bubble, I would have to think.
I would have to agree.
Mind you, when we compare our list tomorrow to the list that matters, maybe we should spend a little more time sleeping and a little less time evaluating.
It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. Especially, you know, in our case, we're really, to be honest, guessing.
Yeah, we don't get to see the kids across the country play as much.
Matthew Kang has a second period goal out there with Peter Skinner and Bobby Bolt. Bolt, the big winger, finds Adam Nemeth. Austin Verge in the power play for Kingston, blocked by Kyle Page and cleared by Regan. Kang chips it ahead. Just out of the reach of Britton, who will track it down now. A former star with the Toronto Junior Canadian minor midget team 1 year ago. He was Kingston's first-round pick. Peter Skinner. Nice move. Britton, Cazita, and Shutron. Penalty to Sechrist has expired. Kang. I wasn't sure if that was going to be a shot or a pass, and I'm not exactly sure he knew for sure when it left his stick either.
Good energy from the front 3 on Kingston there. Britton, Skinner, and Kang.
Here's Langton, Ontario's Corey Nagy. Regan backpedaling. Shutron with a little room to operate. Shutron with Britton, but missed him. As Mclean bats it out, a glove pass, and a timeout. Kingston trails Oshawa by a pair. Next edition of Sportsnet News comes your way with Michael Toth and the big dude, Sean McCormick. There are a list of items on their plate. Oh, can't wait to watch those NFL highlights. I don't think you want to watch your team's highlights today either.
Not so good.
Packer fan and Viking fan, and not so good.
Bad first half.
Well, at least you have a quarterback, kind of, although I'm not so sure his better days aren't behind him, and it might be time to move on.
Probably 50 rings if you cut his leg open. He's starting to age a little.
Yeah. What a great player. 5-3, 4 goals in the first. There have been 4 more here in period number 2, and I guess we shouldn't be surprised. The last time they played a game in this city, Oshawa won 8-6. We're headed right down the same road here tonight. Michael Del Zotto, 2 more assists in the game for the 16-year-old defenseman who leads all rookie defensemen in scoring and entered the day 3rd amongst defensemen no matter what age you are in that category. Points 32 and 33. Shutron leaves for Bobby Hughes, one of 4 players in the game that participated in the top prospects game from Kingston in Ottawa back in January. We'll be in Quebec City this year, or at least next, because the calendar will turn to 2007 by then, but always think of it in hockey years rather than calendar years. Yeah, exactly. Tavares, could it be 3 on the night?
Cazita.
Look at that pass. Just hopped away from Stewart, and he's frustrated.
These two teams will meet 8 times throughout the regular season. In the first 3 matchup, Kingston has the edge 2-1. You're seeing a lot of goals between the 2 clubs. Shots per game, we talked about that. When you look at it, almost 80 shots per game between the 2 clubs, and the power plays have been effective on both sides of the ledger.
Kyle Page with Chris Bellen and Cody Musselman. Regan hit Page, who scored 2 of his 3 goals on the year this weekend in the wins over Ottawa. Bellen working against Skinner and Bolt to an open wing. Kevin Moll hustling. Chris Bellen. Nice move. Bellen thought about the shot, tried the pass for Musselman. Delory on target.
Good move there by Bellen around his old teammate Bobby Bolt. And you talked about making a trade to acquire some youth. We'll go back in the Memorial Cup year when London won it. Bobby Bolt was a member of the Knights at that time. Brian Rodney was a defenseman for Kingston. Really helped London down the stretch in that Memorial Cup run, but Bobby Bolt has turned out to be a great addition for Kingston.
Brian Rodney with one of the 4 goals in the Memorial Cup final in the 4-0 win over Rimouski. Nathan Moon, 1-on-1 versus Del Zotto. Corey Nagy bumped into by big Peter Stevens, who was involved earlier in the game in some fisticuffs with Taylor. Here's Nyholm at a good angle, but Packwood kicked out the right pad to stop the native of Finland. A member of Finland's silver medal winning under-18 team in April. As a matter of fact, he scored in a semifinal game against Canada. Del Zotto, Nyholm on the forecheck, having his best shift of the game is Bobby Nyholm. With Stevens and Bobby Hughes now. Hughes shot blocked. Here's Stevens a chance. Packwood, it's still loose and it's in. Packwood thought it may have been knocked down with a high stick. Will we go upstairs or not?
I don't think there's a need to. I think this puck was tapped in by Stevens after it already landed in the blue ice, Peter, but Stevens does a good job following the shot. That's one thing you're taught from a very young age. Shoot the puck and follow it. Well, Stevens gets the original shot here. Watch him continue towards the net. There's the shot on goal, continues towards the net. This puck will land, and then he'll tap it in right there, continuing with its momentum across the line. But Stevens is one of those guys, if you like an underdog story, he is the guy. He's had to make the club everywhere he's been as a walk-on, and he gets rewarded with his first OHL goal there.
If it is Stevens, it's his first OHL goal, the 17-year-old from Chester, New York, who played junior A hockey 1 year ago in Pembroke, Ontario.
I don't think there's any question that this is going to count. There's the first shot here. Now that puck's up in the air. It's not touched by any stick, although at that point Stevens was whacking at it, but I believe he made contact with it only after it had landed in the blue ice.
Well, I guess when you shoot it originally, it wasn't going to anybody else, was it?
No, he would be the only guy. If he could draw an assist on his own goal, he'd probably get that too.
They are taking a look. And if it stands, all of a sudden, the difference is 1. And it was 4-1 at one point in time in this second period.
Well, Stevens anxiously awaits, and that's one of the things that's been implemented in the Ontario Hockey League this year. Every rink has to have that camera shot somewhere in the vicinity over the goal for situations exactly like this.
Watch the stick. Does it make contact?
You see, I saw contact only after it had landed.
Well, the referees.
And the other thing is, Peter, you have to have evidence conclusive enough to overturn the call. Let's not forget about that.
Mr. Burchell and Mr. Carroll on the phone with probably Ted Baker or the replay official here.
I can see the look of consternation on Brad Selwood's face, knowing that his team had this game in control. But that's one of the things that the Oshawa Generals are starting to learn, is how to win. And this is a program that's gone through a couple of losing seasons, didn't make the playoffs last year. And that ability to learn how to close games out and to win games is something that the Oshawa Generals are going through right now.
And learning how to win is a process.
Definitely not something that happens overnight. I think that's probably our best look at it there. And Stevens sneaks in behind everyone else to tap that puck past Packwood.
And even Bruce Cassidy alluded to that for his own team when we met with him before the contest.
Talking about that early exit from the playoffs last year with a team that everyone thought would go deep into the playoffs, especially in an Eastern Conference that, well, let's face it, when the playoffs started was still pretty much up in the air at that point. Obviously, Peterborough emerged as the front runner and won the entire league.
Poor Peter Stevens. I just want my first OHL goal. How much longer could this review possibly take is, I'm sure, what's running through his mind.
And he's saying, all right, boys, if this thing counts, make sure you grab that puck. Throw some tape around it and rate first OHL goal.
Who knows where the disc might be by the time they get this one sorted out.
I can see it from here. Right there.
Are you not surprised this has taken so long?
I am.
Well, we might as well take another peek ourselves.
There's Stevens. See, his stick is up in the air here. Does it touch anything? As it comes down, that puck may have already crossed the line, but at that point there wouldn't have been any contact. So again, a couple of more looks. I don't know if you're going to get anything conclusive out of anything we have, out of anything that the replay officials have. And
well, I like the last shot we just
that
showed.
One there.
I don't think there's any chance he touched that, at least not till it got to ice level.
And it's funny because once it had got to ice level, Peter, I'm just wondering if it hadn't already crossed the line. So they're looking for whether or not it was touched up in the air with that high stick. And so Bruce Cassidy wants to find out.
Well, the review continues with 2:39 to go in the second period. We think Peter Stevens has scored his first ever OHL goal that would move Kingston to within 1. John Tavares has his league-leading 27 and 28th of the year Brett McLean of Oshawa has an assist in the game. He's extended his point-scoring streak to 19 games. Only one individual in the league who plays in Saginaw, and you like the way he performs, has a longer streak at 22.
Now Mirzak, what a good player he is.
And
indeed,
Mirzak,
they're going to point to center ice.
And it is going to count.
Okay, where's the puck? Did you see the puck? Where is it? Who's got it now?
I was too busy looking at the goal getter. And a big smile on Peter Stevens' face. And why not? He has his first ever OHL goal. Well,
we've got ourselves a game.
We do indeed. The top trios for both squads come out onto the ice after the 5-4 goal. Emerton has won in the contest, opened the scoring way back early in the first. Tavares, well, you know what he's got. Tavares working against Ben Shutron with McLean. And Regan will play it to Clutterbuck offside at the line.
This has been an interesting game for sure, and this game has really gone the way for Kingston as the season has gone. A lot of ups and downs. Kyle Clutterbuck continuing to have a good weekend, but for Bruce Cassidy, I mean, he was on some sort of edge when we talked to him before the game.
Losing 2 in a row on the weekend will do that to you. Peter Stevens first in the OHL from Bobby Hughes and Bobby Nyholm at 17-21 as Kingston has bounced back from a 4-1 deficit to cut the gap to 1, and Packwood has some difficulty. Coming up in our second period intermission, we'll head back to the Sportsnet News studios for an update, as well a feature look at Kingston Frontenac forward Corey Emerton, who, in reading his bio, says if he can't play hockey, he might want to be a Sportsnet anchor.
Uh-oh.
Thank goodness he's really good at hockey. And he's on the ice with Hughes and Stewart. Stewart has a second period goal. Regan Mclean as Shutron pinches down. Tavares takes over. Backhand pass for McLean. Spun around and held by Jason Guy.
Those bouncing pucks are so hard to follow. McLean makes just a good little tip here at the line in order to keep the momentum going, and then he tries to use his body to shield the puck. Gets all spun around. Shutron comes back to help out with the stick lift. No penalties called on the play.
Do you think you have confidence in your game if you come off the boards in your own zone, go to the middle of the ice and flip a backhand pass like that? And he intended that pass for McLean.
No, there's no doubt about it. The kid's dynamite.
Kyle Page taps it for Michael Delzato. He's not bad either. Skinner checking him. Delzato kicking it. Now runs into big Bobby Bolt. Skinner and Bolt with Matthew Kang, who has his 10th of the year in this period.
This line's been good this period.
Kolar snaps it wide.
Skinner, Kang, those two have played together. Bolt's been subbed in. Britton's played in that line.
Nice touch pass that allowed Bolt to have a good scoring opportunity. Skinner. Mole, he'll shoot it. Deflected, scores! And we're tied at 5.
Well, you let the Frontenacs, with all that scoring power, get a little momentum, and then you start getting goals from guys who normally score, and that recipe is not good for the Oshawa Generals. But there has been constant pressure put on by Kingston over the last 10 minutes, and they've been rewarded because of it. This is simply a shot that comes off the boards, and you see Packwood react blocker side. It went off a stick. After it left Mole's stick, you see it tipped right there, and it forces that puck to go to the exact opposite side of the net of where Packwood was expecting it. He raised his blocker, and it ended up going high glove side.
I think Bobby Bolt's going to get credit for that, and that is some kind of deflection. Wow. And we're even at 5.
I think you're right, Peter, but good things happen when you send pucks on net. And so Mole simply takes this shot, he takes it off the boards and fires it towards the net. And you are correct, Peter, that Bolt is going to get credited for his 12th, but there's no doubt that that puck moved on the way in. It was just a matter of which stick it touched. And here's Mole's shot. You see Bolt right there. He was the guy on the left side of your screen, and I think he deflected it off the shaft of his stick, Peter.
Tremendous deflection, and Kingston, could they take the lead? It's loose in the crease. Talk about changing tides of fortune. Where's Howard Cosell when you need him?
Isn't it funny how we talked to Bruce Cassidy about this before the game, and he said, geez, I think maybe we should have more timeouts. Well, the momentum has really changed and changed in a hurry in this one.
Well, who would have thought after John Tavares made it 4-1 in the early stages of this period that we'd be even at 5 after 40 minutes? And you know what the good news is? We have at least 20 minutes left.
Hey everybody, RJ Broadhead back in the Sportsnet studio. We'll have you back to the game in a moment. For some NFL action, the San Diego Chargers have been terrific thanks to their offense. Their defense has struggled a bit without Sean Merriman, but the 2005 Defensive Rookie of the Year back in the lineup after missing 4 games for violating the league's substance abuse policies. All over the Bills. J.P. Lossman forces them to throw, picked up by Quentin Jammer. The Chargers will get a field goal, and then they hand the ball off to LaDainian Tomlinson. What a terrific season for LT. He goes 51 yards, makes it look easy. His 25th touchdown of the season. San Diego up 10-0. Second quarter, Phillip Rivers giving LT a bit of a rest. He goes to Antonio Gates this time. San Diego up 17-0 at the half. The Bills non-existent, but they battle back in the second half. Third quarter, Bills trailing at 17-7. Willis McGahee gets it in from the 2. Cuts the lead to 17-14. But LaDainian Tomlinson just too good. Caps off an 8-minute, 80-yard drive. San Diego wins it 24-21. And Tomlinson just 2 touchdowns shy of Sean Alexander's single-season record. Colts and Titans. Colts have won the AFC South every year since 2002, back when the Titans won it. The Titans wearing the Houston Oilers' old pale blue colors. Peyton Manning goes deep to Marvin Harrison, 100th time the two have combined for a touchdown. That's an NFL record. 7-0 for the Colts. Late in the second, 14-3. Manning looking for Harrison. Here's how you get an interception. Keith Bullock, his right arm neutralized by Harrison. Doesn't matter. He only needs 1 for the pick, right? Great grab. That would lead to a Drew Bennett touchdown. 14-10 Colts at the half. Here come the Titans. They had that great come-from-behind win against the Giants last week. Vince Young spots Brandon Jones. Titans leading 17-14. Manning. Who else is he going to go to? Harrison. 60-yard gain. Colts get a field goal. Tied at 17. 12 seconds left. Titans looking to punt, but Jeff Fisher spots the wind. And Rob Baronis had said he wants to try this 60-yarder. Thinks he can do it.
On its way. He got it! By the hair of his chin.
As long as it goes through the uprights, that's all that matters, and the Titans win dramatically for the second straight week. That 60-yarder by Baronis ties him for the 4th longest field goal in NFL history. Vince Young was great, threw a couple of touchdowns, rushed for a career-high 78 yards. Coming up tonight on Sportsnet News, Toth and McCormick will take you through the National Hockey League and more from the NFL. And it was a terrific weekend once again for Canadian skiers. Back to hockey shortly.
Looking forward to our next CHL action here on Rogers Sportsnet. It comes your way Friday. Bobby Ryan and the Owen Sound Attack battle Ryan Parent and the rest of the Guelph Storm. That should be a gem. Corey Emerton is a second-round draft pick of the Detroit Red Wings, and the 18-year-old from St. Thomas, Ontario, obviously had a lot on his mind before this game started. One of those things was, will he or won't he be invited come tomorrow to Canada's national junior team selection camp? Well, during his stint recently in Sarnia, he made a pretty solid bid to earn a berth, and he's enjoying yet another stellar campaign with the Frontenacs.
Always watching London Knights when I was growing up, you they look so much bigger and so much faster than I ever thought I could be. But you know, people grow up and you kind of grow into yourself, and that's just something you got to realize, that it's not impossible to make. And I didn't really expect to perform that well last year. I knew it was going to be good for, you know, me, Bobby Hughes, and Chris Stewart and Ben. We're all going to have good years from just the extra confidence we had from our rookie seasons. But I never really dreamed of it coming this far so far, but it just feels like I'm living the dream. I think that, you know, I'm always on the puck and, you know, wanting the puck and taking the body when it's there and being in position. It's just, I think I'm more of a setup man and just basically just finding the guy when they're open, and that's when I'm at my best. Yeah, I have to give credit to that. You know, my dad's always pushed me to shoot the puck more and to use my shot and work on it. And it's there, you know. I just have last year at Tennessee kind of a pass when I had the option to shoot, and I'm trying to work on that this year. It's one of the things I need to work on was shooting a little bit more, and you know, it's going to create chances for other people too when I shoot from the rebounds. But I think that's just something I have to work on. Well, projected, I was kind of maybe going to sneak in the late first round, but I couldn't have asked to go anywhere else better than Detroit. I mean, I didn't even know what to think, especially going down on the table and see Scotty Bowman and, you know, just that legendary status he has. And it's been a treat so far. They treat you like gold there, and I couldn't have asked for anything else. Right now, I don't know, it's tough to say. I mean, there's so many great players that are here and, you know, out west and in Quebec that it's what you do, you know. You can't ever stop for a second because they're just going to jump right in. So, I mean, I'm kind of hoping for a chance, you know, to jump in, maybe sneak in there. But if not, then, you know, it's not the end of the world. There's lots of great players, and I wouldn't even be too upset about that.
Corey Emerton opened the scoring in this game, and then we've had 9 since and still have at least 20 minutes to go. Welcome back to Oshawa. 6 second-period goals to go along with the 4 in the first.
Yeah, it started 3-1 Oshawa, and our player of the period is this one here, as Tavares buries it off the assist from Clutterbuck. That made it 4-1 Oshawa at that point. Matthew Kang, though, picks up the rebound on the doorstep, backhands it home. That would make it 4-2. John Tavares would get another shot at the title, and make no mistake, once again, time and space are his two best friends. How about Stewart down the wing? Nice bank pass off the boards by Emerton. He goes upstairs to make it 5-3. Peter Stevens. He looked at this one a couple of times, but Stevens gets credited for his first OHL goal to cut the lead to 1. And Bobby Bolt, off a deflection right there, goes top shelf to cap 3 straight goals by Kingston over a 10-minute, 6-second span.
Second period scoring summary brought to you by Vaughn, where performance meets protection. 6 multiple point getters for Kingston, 4 for Oshawa.
You need your best players to be your best in your biggest games, and in this conference rivalry, the best players have been pretty good.
Cal Clutterbuck leading the way with 3 points, a goal and 2 assists for the Generals. 65 shots, 10 goals, as Kingston has rebounded from a 4-1 second period deficit to tie Mark Packwood and the rest of the Oshawa Generals.
Well, it's been a long, strange ride for Packwood, as he was acquired from Kitchener, and he knew that he had a great opportunity to come in here and do some good things for the Oshawa Generals. He won the first 2 games, both against Ottawa. We'll see how he responds here in this third period of game number 3.
Jason Guy replaced Aaron Rock in goal for Kingston after the 4-1 goal by John Tavares. Here's Emerton into the corner towards Hughes with Stewart against the Oshawa #1 line of Tavares, Clutterbuck, and Brent McLean. Clutterbuck and McLean 2-on-2 as they hit the line. Tavares trailing with it now. Coming out of the pile, Hughes, his pass gobbled up now by Clutterbuck, who's content to shoot it in and go to the bench for a line change. Will things finally tighten up, my friend, in the third?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it there.
Parnham moving in, a hot shot, and Jason Guy just enough with the trapper. Gangalski has a goal in the game. Mitchell has a goal and an assist and has the puck. To the line and Delzato. Wrist shot through a screen. Good work by the goaltender.
Well, just as you were asking, Peter, if this thing would tighten up or not, this bad pass out of the own zone here. You can't go cross ice when your momentum's moving away from the play. You just can't get enough on the puck. So Andrew Cazita turns it over, and that turns into a good scoring chance for Oshawa, who would get one seconds later as well to increase their shot total to 36.
Now, in the third game in as many days, this is where your depth can really come into play.
Yeah, your top guys, you know, with all the power plays we're seeing these days, oh boy, your top guys have seen a ton of ice over the course of 2.5 games.
That would have been an interesting go-ahead marker, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't have surprised me.
No, not tonight, as Mark Packwood made something routine very dangerous and was quite fortunate that the light didn't go on. Delzato, nice turn. Bellen locates it. Peter Skinner on top of him immediately. Skinner's an excellent skater. Shoveled in by Bellen. Drills Mole to the ice, and then Musselman knocked down by a much smaller Peter Skinner, the 20-year-old from Newfoundland, who missed a couple of weeks of action with injury in November. Regan, wrong lead pass for Dean Howard. Michael Kolars and Bobby Nyholm. Josh Britton in a race with the other 22. Regan as Packwood helps out his defenseman. Nyholm on the cycle with Moon and Britton. Corey Nagy brings it. Mole pinched down. And Packwood being told to play it, and wow, dangerous again as it's off Mole and down the ice.
You know, goaltenders are listening to the referees when they say that because they don't want to take that delay of game call. That's twice we've seen Packwood put it in a bad spot.
And Tyler Taylor is going to take a penalty, the Kitchener native, for hooking.
A little too aggressive on the forecheck, and when you don't see a lot of ice time, you really want to make an impression in the few short minutes that you do get. And so Taylor goes in on the forecheck, and he's hooking Kolars the entire way down. It knocks him off stride enough, and then another hook to drag him to the ice. And it was that second one there that brought Kolars to the ice that resulted in the penalty.
Kingston now 8 for 30 on the power play. Or make that 5 for 29 on the power play against Oshawa in 4 games. Clutterbuck upends Cazito. Hughes lost an edge. And the Frontenacs will regroup. Give them credit. On the road, down 4-1 in the second. They've fought back to tie. And now an opportunity to take their second lead of the game. They did open the scoring early in the first on a goal by the gentleman who has it now, Corey Emerton. Cazita in the shoot-run. Bobby Hughes. Emerton. Nice move. Good save, Packwood. Rebound, Stewart. Loose in front and cleared just in the nick of time by Delort. Generals change their penalty killers. Hughes. Too far for Stewart, and Parnham backhands it the distance.
Oh boy, you really get that feeling that the last team to score is going to win this game.
Nemeth for Austin Verge. Hughes remains out. Kang is on the ice as well. Nemeth. Adam Nemeth, hot shot into the midsection area of Mark Packwood.
He's starting to be tested early and often here in this third period. A couple of good chances for Kingston on the power play as this puck goes down low. Good switch there, and that drew all the defenders, allowing that puck to go to the front of the net. And then you see the puck is tipped back out by Stewart with Emerton right on the doorstep, but they just couldn't get enough good wood on it to get it past Packwood.
Skinner with Bolt and Kang. Matthew Kang. Nice feed. Nemeth. Packwood. I'm not even sure if he saw it, but he did get enough of it. Skinner, the 20-year-old. Ouch. That hit Bolt in front, and Packwood had to come across in a hurry to make that save.
Of course, of 3 shots in the 10-second span, Packwood's responded well.
And the goalie has just iced it.
Well, Peter, Packwood was looking for action. He's got plenty of it in this hockey game. Oh, my goodness. Good shot from Nemeth that deflects wide. And then Verge sends it back behind the net. Kang working it around. Another good shot on goal there by Skinner, and you see Verge follow that up. Good reaction there by Packwood to come across on the slide. He didn't overslide, and that helped him make the stop.
Well, we witnessed Peter Stevens' first OHL goal. It was nearly another first from Austin Verge, who has 4 assists and no goals in his rookie year. Kyle Bocek. Nathan Moon behind the net. Stripped by Delory. That could have been interference as Moon deflects it on target. Guy out of the net for Nyholm.
Well, what a smart play by Guy. He realizes his team now is really starting to put the bolts towards that Oshawa team, and he wants to keep that puck in play to allow his team that's starting to roll their lines a little more to continue to maintain that pressure.
Delzato shoots it on net.
He continues to keep pucks in play.
Bobby Hughes taken away. Tavares. Cazita. Good poke check. Tavares keeps it alive for Mclean and then intercepted. Here's Hughes with Emerton. Corey Emerton runs into Kaverko at the line. Hughes and Stewart. Chris Stewart in behind the net. Loses it to Tavares. Cazito at the left point. Thought about it. Finds Emerton. Seam pass. Hit Kaverko. Shoots run. Blocked up by Mclean. Kingston with some heat on. Mclean has broken his stick, and a smart move to use his glove to send it out of the zone. Nice work.
He had to look up first and realize there was no one towards the center of the ice.
Kaverko hit Delzato, still makes its way through to Mclean. Mitchell driving the net. Tavares in the hunt, too.
See how lively the backboards are in this new building? How many pucks have you seen come out there to go back in front of the net?
Several. Hughes, Stewart has a chance. What a diving play by Delory to take away a scoring chance from Stewart. Cleared. Iced. It remains 5-5 thanks to this gem of a defensive play. Michael, as in Toth, and McCormick, as in Sean. The next edition of Sportsnet News coming your way at 11 o'clock on Sportsnet Ontario. They will feature those items and many more on a busy Sunday in the world of sports. Busy game, 10 goals so far, none, however, in this third period. Who's this penalty on?
I want to say Verge for interference because Mitchell was the guy going for the puck. He was leaning in, but at the same time, he started to take that angle on him. These two guys going hard up the ice. Look at Mitchell. And you see Verge just kind of lean into him.
Now, the reason sorry.
I know what you're saying.
You know where I'm going,
yeah,
don't you? Because I saw the arm of Mitchell come out, but great work once again by our crew to illustrate the fact that one guy cut the other guy off, even though I thought maybe it was Mitchell who initiated his own fall.
And I think in this game, in the way it's called now, the benefit of the doubt is always going to go towards the offensive player.
So a big power play for the Generals. They're 8th. They found the net once on the power play, and the gentleman with the puck was the power play goal getter, Gangalski, but he loses it, and it's clear. 4-1 at one point in time in favor of Oshawa, but they're in a 5-5 tie now, 4th meeting of the year between these two East Division rivals. The last went to a shootout in Kingston. A much lower scoring affair, I might add.
Well, you know, Oshawa, they're no strangers to playing extra time.
10 times they've gone to extra time, 8 in the shootouts.
And they've won 5 of those 8 due to some of the very talented forwards they have.
We won't be surprised at some of those stats if we get there a little later. Regan, blocked by Shutron. Delzato, blocked by Hughes. Delzato again, slides it down low. Stays out, Tavares. How does that not go in?
Unbelievable. My
Goodness. Another penalty on the way as Delzato snaps his stick in two. And Oshawa with yet another two-man advantage. And I think they're 0 for 2 on the night with two-man advantages.
Yeah, it's going to be a slash. That's why Delzato's stick broke. He went over frantically at the line to try and save this puck from exiting the zone and took a mean slash. Here's the original shot blocked by Hughes. Delzato gets it back. And it goes down low. This huge scramble ensues in front of the net, but no one can get a stick on it. As the puck comes clear and the light goes on there, a lot of people thought that's why it should. Now you see Delzato going over to stop it, and it's that slash right there by Hughes, and that's where the penalty is. But the light did indeed go on, Peter, but that puck, there's no way it ever crossed the line.
How about the play of Delzato to feed that puck down low?
Yeah, he's got tremendous vision.
Just 16 years of age. Delzato remains out. A 5-on-3 for the Generals. Clutterbuck, Regan, they run the exchange. Tavares over top of his stick. He has 2 already in the game. Delzato. In front is Mclean. Tavares thought he was going to shoot it. Mclean, Tavares gobbles it up. Now he shoots it.
I like their thoughts here on the power play, Peter. They really work that guy down low. And what happens is if he can't make a pass, it's still an effective shot from there because it's so hard for the goaltender to cover up the rebound on that bad angle.
Kingston just one man short. Tavares to the front of the net. Madden tries to feather it through. Clutterbuck has his 12th of the year tonight. Tavares on the give and go, broken up in the Frontenacs, doing a very nice job of penalty killing right now. Scott Madden to the line, and Bobby Bolt, who tied the game on an unbelievable deflection late in the second period, broke it up. The netminder, Jason Guy, handles.
Here's a chance here at Kolar's with the broken stick.
Bolt. The speedy Skinner working against Madden, and Madden recovered well. Down to just 14 seconds to go on the power play. Parnham backhander. It did cross the line, but a whistle blew first.
What a pickup by Parnham on this play. We were about ready to hop out of the booth on that one. He's down on one knee here in the booth. What a pickup by Parnham. Goes to the backhand now. The backward momentum by Guy, and the puck squeaks loose. It goes in the line, but the whistle had already blown at that point, Peter. Here's the backhand. Look at the momentum going backwards. Whistle blows. Puck drops out and then goes behind the line right there, but that was well after the whistle had blown.
They don't like it very much. Here in Oshawa, it was a bit of a quick whistle, but I definitely heard it before the puck crossed the line.
No, there's no doubt. Let's have a listen in here.
The proof is in the pudding, or at least in the sound.
In the whistle.
That too. Kingston kills off yet another two-man advantage for the Generals, and the Generals' power play has not been its usual self at home, where they were 26% to the good at home on the power play entering the game. Parnham, another nice take. Wrist shot on target. Picked away by Jason Guy, who's done a nice job tonight in relief. Parnham, steered by Verge, not out. Regan. Mitchell was there for the redirect, but missed.
I noticed that about Regan's game yesterday. You see him make that step up there to stop that puck from exiting the zone, allowing Oshawa to make a line change and maintain pressure. He really steps up in the hole as well and stops a lot of plays.
Austin Verge can't clear it deep. Regan, great pass for Bellen. Bellen shot. Guy took a peek, but he has it. It remains a 5-5 tie in the third in Oshawa. Tuesday, Ottawa playing much better as of late. On Rogers Sportsnet, it's Molson Canadian Senators hockey as they take on Teddy Nolan's team, the New York Islanders. And then on Thursday, oh, imagine this, another game against Boston. What have there been, 30 of them? And we'll have that for you on Rogers Sportsnet. Ontario, the Leafs, and the Bruins again. 5-5. Two East Division rivals in the OHL with just over 8 minutes remaining in regulation. Cody Musselman, backhand pass for Chris Bellen on the ice with Kyle Page. Kolar's fans. Nathan Moon not out. Delory scoops it behind the cage. Finds Bellen. Musselman trying to jam it home in the wraparound. Time for our top scorers, brought to you by Boston Pizza, where of course you're always among friends.
Eddie Bathurst with the top 2 scorers in the league. Matthew Perreault leading the way with 66 points. Claude Giroux, 60 points. Kane and Gagne now at 60. Look at that tie for second place, and those are right up to the second, with London currently playing.
Bruce Cassidy looking on. Has to be happy with the resolve his team has shown. Trying to snap a 2-game weekend losing streak.
Yeah, considering the 3 5-on-3s and the fact that they spent a lot of time in the box to be tied in this game, they should be happy.
Sam Gagne, will he get an invite to Canada's National Junior Tryout Camp in Calgary? The word I have heard on the weekend is the answer to that question will be yes.
Well, you got on the horn after we made our list, did you?
I told you there was a reason or two why my list might have to change. Well, when a guy has 60 points, now he's only 17 years old, but probably worth a look at camp. I really like his ability. His covering up. His goaltender, Jason Guy.
Yeah, an interesting story there as well. I mean, Guy was going to be the starter in Guelph this year, based on everything you saw from Ryan McDonald last year, and all of a sudden Thomas McCollum comes out of the Buffalo, New York area and really steals the show and is amongst the top goaltenders in the Ontario Hockey League, and that left the door open for Guelph to trade Guy.
London performing in Sault Ste. Marie tonight, the brand new beautiful Steelback Center. Gangalski cutting in front, loose for Mitchell. Tries it again. Oshawa buzzing, looking for the go-ahead goal. Gangalski, a backhander, blocked by Josh Britton, but held in by Scott Madden. He's done some really nice things in this game. Parnham just missed on the short side.
I can't believe the momentum swings in this game. You watch Kingston in the last 10 minutes of that second period. You look at Kingston, came out strong to start this period, but Oshawa has taken the play over the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Schutron, backhand for Britton. He's dumped by the much smaller Brett Parnham. Britton intercepted by McLean. Brett McLean and Dale Mitchell. Drops it. McLean has it. Mitchell in front. Wanted to go to the backhander as Bobby Nyholm turns the other way with a bit of a burst. Nyholm hooked on the play, and Bruce Cassidy will be yelling for a penalty there. Here's Tavares as we go end-to-end. Drops. McLean. Rebound. Beyond charging Clutterbuck. Here comes Hughes with Emerton. Hughes backhander stop. And then charging into Packwood. Great end-to-end action here in the third in Oshawa.
Oh, put the defense in your back pocket. Last team to score wins. Stewart with a beautiful pass, and that creates the 2-on-1. Hughes goes to the back, and he's tripped up at the last second. And goes right into Packwood, but Packwood does a good job in keeping it out. I'm surprised he didn't get a little more rattled with that hard collision.
Packwood has faced 37 shots. The combination of Rock and Guy have seen 45 fired in their direction.
Boys are going to need a day off tomorrow.
82 shots. We're enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, and the poor guy controlling the shots on goal button will have carpal tunnel.
This won't win any how to defend. awards. Mclean. Tavares roughed up by Emerton. Two elite players go head-to-head. Hughes with Stewart. Stewart drops it. Hughes blocked by Delzato, and what a collision on the end boards. And Stewart is shaken up. We hope that Chris Stewart is okay. We'll check on his condition when we come back.
Fans, check the video board for tonight's Rogers Wireless Hit of the Game.
The Ontario Hockey League on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Having a look at Chris Stewart, who went down before the break, and it was a situation where he'd left a drop pass, but this guy moves at such high speed, and he's such a big guy that any collision can be harmful. Watch this drop pass. Now he and Kaverko get tied up, the feet come right out from under him, and he goes basically hip into the boards. Oh man, that did not look good, and he had no chance at all to defend himself by cushioning that blow with the arms or the bend of the knees, and it is so good to see this kid get back on his knees.
Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness to see Chris Stewart getting up. He's not in very good shape, but boy, that just terrifies me anytime I see a kid down for that length of time. There was some movement right off the bat, so that was encouraging. And upon looking at a replay, you know, you're always so worried about somebody's head going into the boards, and he really didn't see that. So
there was cause for optimism right away because of that.
You know, you didn't really see it as being any kind of a neck injury. At least you certainly hoped that that wasn't the case, because he didn't hit head first. As Chris Stewart makes his way to the Kingston dressing room, it's been a very difficult week for Chris. The suspension as a result of the incident on Monday in this building involving the Russians, and he just comes back tonight. This poor guy may never ever want to see this building ever again.
Yeah, the way things have gone this week, getting that 3-game suspension.
Well, let's hope to goodness that he's okay. He is a talented player who, following right now in his brother Anthony's footsteps. You know, he's quite a story, Chris is, when you consider he wasn't even sure he wanted to be a hockey player. He was leaning towards a football career up until 3 or 4 years ago, and changed his mind and had a tremendous 87-point season last year in Kingston, and was drafted in the first round. Bobby Bolt throws it through the blue paint, nobody home. He was actually drafted higher than his brother was. His brother went 25th overall to Florida's. Oh no. Quite a collision there involving Matthew Kang and Dale Mitchell, and Kang is slow to get up. But he looks like he's okay.
Well, he's got to one knee at least on his own, but he's a little jelly-legged right now. He went hard at Mitchell and lost his balance, and he went into the boards upper body first. There's the two going head-to-head. And then Kang comes in and just catches the hip, and he goes in with that back and shoulder area first. And I think the collision with the boards probably scared Kang so much at first that he stayed down, but he was able to at least get off under his own power, and he too will go in that runway that leads back to the Kingston rink.
Sam, he snapped his head back pretty hard too. Oof. Hope Matthew Kang now is okay after the Stewart situation. Kolars carries in. Pass attempt for Skinner broken up and cleared to neutral ice. Bit of a terrifying minute's worth of action in what's been an entertaining game tonight in Oshawa. Here's Dale Mitchell. Mitchell has his 17th in the game. Good high shot. Mitchell with Gangalski and Parnham. Delory. Scott Madden blocked by Kyle Bocek, and Bocek clears.
Good work along the boards by Bocek there to continue on with the check to clear the puck.
Not bad for a guy who's made his last 3 teams as a walk-on. Kyle Bocek. Bellen slides it in. Adam Nemeth picks his pocket. Less than 4 to go in regulation. 4 goals in the first, 6 in the second, none in the third. And you have to wonder, third game in 3 nights, what either side has left in the tank. Moon, fine kick save by Packwood off the young 16-year-old Nathan Moon. Musselman works against Verge, who knocked it off his stick as Peter Stevens clears it in.
Well, good news, Peter Stewart back in the
that's
ice.
Terrific. Absolutely great to see Chris Stewart back in action that soon after he hit the board so hard. That just makes you feel good. Emerton. Cazita clears. Clutterbuck fails to handle it the way he wanted to. Hughes loses an edge, but still iced it.
Well, that's Stewart back out there. He took about 2 minutes underneath, and I think Peter, once he got off, for the most part under his own power, he had a little bit of help from teammates, but went back there, was able to clear his head a little bit, catch his breath, and get back out there on the ice. He is a big cog in the wheel here for Bruce Cassidy.
Hey, wasn't that great to see in a 5-5 tie? Trevor Kaverko was the young man who he collided with, and Kaverko came over and said, "Hey, Chris, you okay?"
Good to see you back.
Good to see you back. That was a great shot.
Sportsmanship.
Fantastic. Here's Stewart busting in. He scores! What a turn of events. Chris Stewart with 2:40 left. Second of the game gives Kingston the lead.
Well, if you were wondering if he was going to be able to rebound, not a problem. What tremendous hand-eye coordination here by the right-handed shot Stewart. He grabs the puck, it flips up in the air. Watch, it goes up in the air. Boom, he hits it out of midair, off the post, and in. Good second effort there by Stewart, who just seconds ago, his ability to come back in this game was in question, but there's no doubt about it. He's back, and he's made a difference.
See who he beat just inside the line? Trevor Kaverko. Unbelievable turn of events here in the third. And still 2.5 to go.
It'll be a fun 2.5 minutes, that's for sure.
Oshawa led at one point, 4-1, and now trail 6-5. This would be the type of win you could really build on if you're Bruce Cassidy. Oshawa might have something to say about that in the last couple of minutes. Bobby Bolt, who tied the game late in the second. Del Zotto avoids Bolt and plays it off the glass. Gangalski, rink wide, and Mitchell.
Good pass.
Dale Mitchell working against Kolars. An errant offering that time, gobbled up by Bolt, who's content to shoot it in.
Yeah, good job by Regan to close that gap and force Bolt to get at the distance.
And now we have to look towards Packwood to see when he might exit with 1.5 minutes remaining. Regan shoots it in. And you knew we'd see Tavares. He comes out with Clutterbuck and Mclean. Tavares moving in. Tavares off the side of the net. Wrap around. He's tied it. John Tavares completes the hat trick with 1:10 to go in regulation.
Oh boy. Like this game needed more excitement. Yeah, the hats are starting to come from the fans in the stands here in Oshawa. But Peter, I got to tell you, this play was set up beautifully by Mclean, who drops this. It's a little chip off the boards right here by Mclean. Just this little tap, and that sends Tavares in all alone. First shot no good. Wrap around with that great reach right off of that left ankle. Good shooters continue to follow their shots. That's what Tavares did here. And it's that long reach and going to the knees that enables them to score that goal. But what a chip there by Mclean to spring Tavares on the original rush.
Tavares, third of the game, 11th point of the weekend, and 29th goal of the year. Well, we said it was a long way from over, and still is, with 1:10 to go.
85 shots, 12 goals. Oh, man.
Andrew Cazita. Hughes, Emerton, and Stewart back out against the Tavares line. Regan plays it out of harm's way, or at least out of the zone, which on this night, anytime somebody enters the zone, it's harm's way. Kaverko flips it high. Mclean, big check on Cazita. Dangerous looking pass, but it worked.
We got all the big shooters out there now, and that's the way you'd want this game to be decided, with the best two lines going head to head. Tavares went to go to the bench, and Selwood said, no, no, no. You get back out there with your line mate, Clutterbuck.
John Tavares, third of the night, 29th of the year, with a 1:10 to go in regulation to tie it after Chris Stewart gets hurt. We were very worried about his health. He came back a couple minutes later, scored his second of the game to give Kingston the lead.
Isn't it great to see the best players performing at the top of their game?
That's why we enjoy junior hockey so much.
It just goes to show the depth of talent in this country, even right down to the individual league level.
Less than 10 to go. Oshawa is about to play its league-leading 11th overtime game of the year. It's only December the 3rd, for goodness sakes. Let's take a quick break and come back with extra time. And why not? 60 minutes in the books. We're not done yet, and yes, this game requires quite a review.
You could argue that these two guys are the best players in their respective teams, and each of them has 3 points here tonight. Tavares with 3 goals, and here's how it all happened on an assist from Cal Clutterbuck, with the trailing man always being the most dangerous man, and then Mclean setting up Tavares in an area where only he could receive the pass. That was 2, and this one here with time winding down, the original shot is stopped, but the wraparound attempt is the game tire.
That goal came, the hat trick marker, with 1:10 to go in regulation. This is overtime. Mclean upended by Shutron.
You see a lot of the best guys here in this 4-on-4 as well.
Corey Emerton. Yeah, like this game needed another twist. Emerton. Backhander didn't miss by much. And it comes to Tavares. First 16-year-old Michael Delzato poked off his stick. Tavares. Patient. Watched closely by Hughes.
Good use of the body there.
Fends him off. Here's James Delory. He has both overtime winners this season for Oshawa. The only 2 goals he's scored have come in overtime.
Save them when they're needed most.
November 10th in London. November 19th against Sudbury. Mitchell. Delzato. Parnham. Long lead pass.
He stepped in just a second early, just a hair early. Parnham's played exceptionally well in this hockey game. He's created a lot of opportunities for himself, Peter. Always seems to be a puck hound, always around that puck and making good things happen here. And if not, he's getting into open ice. And that pass there, he stepped in just a little ahead of the line.
And had it not been for an early whistle, he would have scored his 8th of the year tonight. Dale Mitchell trying to get away from Kevin Moole. Guy well out of the net. Parnham blocked by Kolars. 6-6. Oshawa led at 1 point, 4-1 in the second. Kingston came all the way back to take a lead on a Chris Stewart goal in the late stages of the third, only to have John Tavares tie it with his 3rd of the game with 1:10 to go in regulation.
Brad Selwood's hairline's taken a beating this year with all the overtime games his team has been in. I talked to him after the game against Ottawa yesterday. He said, boy, it was nice to get a win by more than 2 goals. They beat Ottawa 8-2 in yesterday's afternoon affair, and the boys could relax a little, he and his coaching staff, but not the case here tonight.
Stewart with Skinner in this 4-on-4 against Page and Clutterbuck. Nemeth. Stewart. Bursts into the zone. Skinner had it hawk over his stick. And here's Clutterbuck. Cal Clutterbuck, you know he can shoot it. Nifty moves, failed to dance by Verge.
That's what happens when you have a good shot. You have to respect the shot so you don't think the move's coming.
Stewart with his 14th and 15th of the year tonight. Skinner, good speed, working against Delory. Skinner stopped by Peckwood. Delory and Kaverko. 2.5 to go in overtime. Tavares with Mclean. Mclean right on. Rebound. Wrap around. Another try. He scores. Mclean wins it in overtime.
They are the hair loss kids. 11th overtime game of the year for the Oshawa Generals, and after Kingston did such a good job in battling back, it's a play that gets broken down. Now Guy is very concerned, Peter, about this rush, and so when he dives, he pulls himself out of position. Off the shot here, now you'll see him dive towards this side. He's overskated there. He's overslid that post, and so he has a tough time recovering, getting back to the other side. By the time he gets there, Mclean has already ended it. Off of this rebound here, now he tries to follow that puck. See him way overslide there, now he's out of position. One chance for Mclean, and then it's the second chance where he's able to go upstairs, and at that point, Guy is down and out of commission.
Brett McLean's 21st of the year at 2:36 of extra time wins it for Oshawa. What a wild affair in downtown Oshawa. We'll be back to wrap it up after this. The play of the game is brought to you by Ackland's Granger, Canada's leading distributor of industrial fleet and safety supplies.
Into overtime we go, and you have to respect John Tavares' goal-scoring ability, and when he has the puck, good things happen. Well, the puck comes loose to McLean. He gets 2 cracks at it and buries the second one. Jason Guy, making the original stop, overslides, finds himself out of position, and it's McLean on his second attempt to win it in overtime for the Oshawa Generals.
John Tavares tied it late. McLean wins it in extra time. Peter Loubardias and Sam Cosentino with the overtime hero, Brett McLean. Brett, I thought only James Delory could score overtime goals for your team.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking. We'd have to put him out for the full 5 minutes.
Brett, if you can, describe that game winner.
Well, the puck just laid there, and I took the shot after John got it, and I noticed the goalie was out. I tried to wrap it, and I couldn't get it the first time, but it came right back to me, and I just kind of banged it in.
We talked to Cal Clutterbuck at the first intermission about the chemistry between you and Tavares and Clutterbuck. What do you think makes the trio work so well?
I think we got a little bit of everything on our line. You know, Cal's a power forward. He likes to throw checks, and John, he's a goal scorer. He's a great goal scorer, and I'm a playmaker, and right now we're working really well together.
Brett, why is your game, outside of the fact that it doesn't hurt anyone to play with the line mates that you're playing with right now, but why is your game taken itself to a new level this season?
Well, I worked really hard in the off season. You know, I wanted to have a strong year, and I worked really hard, and it's just everything's going in for me right now, and my line mates are helping me out quite a bit.
How about your team playing in so many overtime games? Just another one to add to the belt.
Yeah, we've been there all year. It's nothing new to us, so we knew going in we were pretty confident that we could take the win.
I take it you're rather tired. It's very difficult, these 3-3s, let alone going through a roller coaster ride like this. What were you guys thinking when you looked up and it was 6-5 after you'd had a 4-1 lead at one point in the second period?
We know we can score, so we weren't that worried. You know, we just knew we had to come out strong, and that's what we did.
Brett, thanks so much. Congratulations on what has been a terrific year for you, a terrific weekend, and pretty neat way to end it for you.
Thank you.
Brett McLean, rated rather highly by OHL Central Scouting. This guy, he'll go first, but you'll have to wait till 2009. Welcome back to General Motors Center in Oshawa, where the Generals, led by the gentleman on your screen, John Tavares, have knocked off the Kingston Frontenacs 7-6 in overtime. John, has it been quite some time since you've been involved in quite a wild seesaw affair like this one?
It seems every week or every other week we get into a battle like this, and it was fortunate we came out on top and we got down late, and our line came up big, scored 2 big goals, and a minute to go, and then in overtime to get us the sweep the weekend.
Well, Oshawa gets the 6-point weekend, but at some point in the back of your mind, you have to be thinking about the World Junior Team selection process. Is this going to be a tough night for you?
I'm not really going to try and worry about it. I think I gave it my all, and I did my best out there, and not much more I can give, and I just have to hope for the best, and they give me an opportunity, and we'll find out tomorrow morning.
Well, it probably doesn't hurt that you've just had the best offensive weekend of your career, and you've had many a good weekend in the first 2 years. What happened this weekend that just everything worked probably exactly the way you would have wanted to? 12 points in 3 games. Yeah,
a great weekend, and I think it came a game in London where we played awesome. We won that game, and my mom and my agents really said they can really see my game change, and since then I've been playing awesome, and things have been going my way, and this weekend everything was going my way. Got all the bounces and got a little bit of the luck, and I'm playing with great players like McLean and Clutterbuck, and they're helping me out, and I'm getting a lot of ice time, and I'm taking advantage of it.
Well, you talk about those line mates. You're the third in the trio that we've had a chance to talk to tonight. What in your mind makes the 3 work so well together?
We communicate very well out there. We talk a lot, and we get to the bench, and things might go right, not right. Sometimes we talk about it, we review it and forget about it, and we go to the next shift and work hard, and we try and get each other involved, and they're both great hockey players, and we'll be great hockey players in the future, and it's a great experience to play with them, and we're having a lot of fun doing it, and scoring a lot of goals.
Well, John, congratulations. Goals number 27, 28, and 29. And by the way, not to get your hopes up, but the flight to Calgary is about 4 hours, just in case you're wondering.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. John Tavares ties the game, Sam, with 1:10 to go, and regulation assists on the game winner. He's
not
special.
A bad weekend. Not a bad weekend at all, but a very entertaining game to kick off our CHL schedule for sure.
We may not have another one, much better. But we will have another coming your way on Friday night, and it's an excellent matchup. From Guelph, Ryan Parrott, Drew Doughty in the Storm hosting Bobby Ryan, Trevor Lewis in the Owen Sound Attack. That comes your way Friday night. The next edition of Sportsnet News comes your way with Michael Toth and Sean McCormick, and they have lots on their plate. What a wild one tonight in Oshawa, where Brett McLean wins it in overtime. John Tavares with a hat trick. For Sam and our entire crew, I'm Peter Loubardias saying so long from Oshawa.